RPG mode activated? Yo people, how are you doing? Your boy Al is here with Solo Leveling Episode 3 review. At first we see Sung regain consciousness in a hospital bed and discover that the injuries from the statue attack have miraculously disappeared. Wu and Kong from the Hunter Association surveillance team enter Sung's room, revealing that he has been unconscious for 3 days. They provide updates on the aftermath of the Double Dungeon incident, mentioning the possibility of Sung's retirement, Juhi's psychiatric treatment, and the survival of only 6 individuals from the ordeal. I understand Sung risks his life all the time, so this kind of thing shouldn't impact him much, but having almost no reaction to such a big incident doesn't make sense. We see Wu inform Sung that the White Tiger Guild was notified about the incident and went to the temple to rescue them. However, upon arrival, they discovered only Sung lying on the ground, with no statues or a temple in sight. Wu raises the possibility of Sung experiencing a second awakening, to which Sung tests by checking Kang's mana meter. Unfortunately, Sung's mana levels remain unchanged. After offering apologies, Wu and Kong leave Sung's room. So yeah, it looks like second awakening is a thing, which basically means some people do get a level up but in a roundabout way, and I hope this will get more focus later down the line. Then we see that in his room, Sung is surprised that Wu and Kong didn't inquire about the log in front of him. He tries to manipulate the log for a while. Suddenly, jin-ah enters the room and scolds him for causing her to worry about his safety. Sung realizes that jin-ah also can't see the log and asks her about unread video game notifications and how to access them. Jin-ah provides guidance, and Sung discovers that he has become the player and must complete a daily strength training quest. Reading notifications about the player development system, he learns that failure to comply will result in penalties. The system also informs him of a reward, but Sung is uncertain about its significance. When he sees the daily strength training quest, Sung reads the tasks and finds them amusing. Jin-ah's attitude towards Sung was much better in this episode, but I still got a carefree vibe from her. Also, Sung surging off the daily mission was dumb from him, especially after what happened during the raid. Elsewhere, Wu reports to Chairman Go that Sung did not experience a second awakening. Chairman Go expresses gratitude that the expedition didn't lead to a dungeon break but decides to categorize the matter as a special case for further evaluation. In his office, Guildmaster Choi suggests to Cha that they participate in a B-rank raid as instructors, despite Cha's hesitation about her teaching abilities. A gate unexpectedly appears in the street, causing concern among the citizens. In the hospital, Sung learns from the log that he failed to complete his daily request. Transported to a desert-like environment with a looming giant centipede, Sung must survive for 4 hours as a penalty for the incomplete quest. After successfully completing the ordeal, he returns to the hospital, faints, and receives a reward from the log. The next morning, Sung informs jin-ah that he might be able to leave the hospital soon. Jin-ah is delighted and playfully suggests Sung take her to dinner. Meanwhile, at Juhi's home, she receives a call inviting her to participate in a D-rank raid, but she declines, learning about Sung's current condition instead. I think the flashback we saw during the first episode was most likely a dungeon break that happened 3 years ago. Also, Sung finally started leveling up like a RPG, but if anyone finds out his secret, then he will be in a lot of trouble. Moving on, we see Juhi arrive at the hospital and overhears nurses discussing Sung's recent dedication to exercise. Observing Sung running outside, she decides not to confront him. Meanwhile, Sung successfully completes his daily strength training quest and shares his insights into the player development system, detailing the 3 types of rewards: full recovery, ability points, and a random loot box. Returning to his hospital room, Sung opens the loot box, finding a key that grants access to an instance dungeon. Sung ponders the significance of this for a moment. Following a news report on the emergence of several D-rank and C-rank gates, the scene shifts to Sung visiting his mother's hospital room. It looks like Juhi found her resolve to do her best after seeing Sung train, and I think that was a nice development. Also, I'm curious to find out Sung's class, because so far we only know Jihee's class, which is healer. Next we see a flashback where Sung, Jin-ah, and their mother learn about the final rest disease, a condition related to prolonged exposure to mana through the gates. The doctor explains the rarity of the disease and mentions that life support is the only available treatment. Sung continues to complete his daily quests, reflecting on past experiences with colleagues and fellow hunters. In his hospital room, Sung decides to allocate most of his ability points to strength. Later, he travels to Hapjeon Station, using the loot box key to access the instance dungeon. However, the dungeon abruptly closes, and the log instructs Sung to defeat the boss or use a teleportation stone to return home. I can understand Sung not being able to do labor work due to him being weak, but that's not the only job out there, so Bim becoming a hunter despite being so weak doesn't make sense. Also, I found it rather interesting that the gates are bringing new diseases to the world. At the end we see Sung faces a group of goblins and successfully defeats them. However, his confidence wavers when a steel-fanged Leakin appears, causing concern. Sung realizes he cannot rely on others for healing and feels uneasy as the Leakin lunges towards him. The fight was decent but nothing really special, and I'm very curious to see how Sung will clear the whole dungeon alone, because he is not really strong yet. I think this episode was better than the last one overall, but I'm not really hooked to the anime and I think they should work on their pacing. Anyways, thanks for watching everyone. If you like my video, then check out some of my other videos. Also, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to my channel or leave a comment if you want to say something. You can also follow me on Twitter and Instagram or check out my Facebook page, links are given in the description. Until then, see ya.